You were at a 4th of July party with your family, and a crazed gunman came in and shot you in the side of the head.
He stands up, pulls out a pistol, and just shoots my buddy right across from him. Not provoked, not nothing. Walks right in front of him and just point blank shoots him at the top of the head. These survival instincts just kick in, that will to live. And, either you run, you hide, or you fight.
This is the Lunatics Legends Podcast. Today we are here with Raul Mendez. You have an insane story, probably one of the wildest stories that we've had on this show, flat out. You were at a 4th of July party with your family, and a crazed gunman came in and shot you in the side of the head. I don't want to tell your story. I want you to tell your story. So tell us what you remember, brother.
Well, shit. This was, a few years ago? It's going to be 4 years this July. But, it's a moment that you'll never forget. Something, unreal. Something that most people think, like, from a movie, like, this shit will never happen to me.
Right.
This shit doesn't happen. It's, uncommon or something like that. But, we were invited. Pregnant wife, my 2 daughters, invited to... 4th of July party at a friend's house that we've always gathered. So it was nothing new, not a stranger, nothing like that. And other families, other friends. And it was just another day, celebrate our freedom and, get together for those laughs and those memories. And my God, did that become a damn memory, a bad one, So we're hanging out. And this neighbor, I'd never met him. So we're at my buddy's house and we're lighting fireworks and he comes over, introduces himself. My friend, he's seen him here and there, wave at each other.
Yeah.
From what he said, never really formally introduced or actually had a chat. But, he's lived there for years, waving at each other every time, they see each other out and, And so... eventually, small groups, we all started making our way into the house. And, this guy follows the crowd. He goes into the house and, my buddy being a, good neighbor, a good host, we're all there, says, hey, well, like, shit, you're already here. You're my neighbor. I've seen you for a few years, but you want something to eat, something to drink, sit down. So he does. Sits down in the, kitchen island, plate of food and everything. He starts eating. And in that kitchen island, you have an empty bar stool, to the left.
Yeah.
And then next to that was my wife. Next to my wife was, another female. One of my buddies right across from him, from the neighbor. And in the middle of eating, I don't know what happened. Something clicked on his head. That mental illness, whatever the hell it is, fucking demon possessed him. I don't know. But he stands up, pulls out a pistol, and just shoots my buddy right across from him. Not provoked, not nothing. Shoots him once in the throat. He doesn't fall, so he shoots him again. My buddy then falls. My wife is to the left of him. I'm probably about, 10 feet to the left of him. I'm standing in the dining area. From what my wife tells me, I guess I was talking to somebody. I don't know what the hell I was doing in the dining room, but I was standing.
Yeah.
My back is, faced my wife and the gunman. So he shoots my buddy twice. Then... turns to the left, and of course he sees me, and my wife drops to the floor.
Yeah. Your pregnant wife.
My pregnant wife.
Yeah.
So, hearing those gunshots, people thought, somebody lit off a firework in the house or something. Like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Right.
But I turn to my right, so I hear, boom, boom. So I turn. By the time I'm turning, you know, no chance to see what the heck is going on. He just catches me on the right side of the head. Bullet goes through my whole face and out my left eye. I hit the ground. I hit, on my knees. He thinks, okay, I got this guy in the head. Let's
Right.
go.
Right.
Makes his way through the living room and, just starts, continues his rampage.
Yeah.
You know, everybody starts trying to scatter, run at the house, and just, get the heck out of there. My wife runs to me. I'm on my knees and she doesn't know what the heck is going on.
Right.
Did I go on my knees and drop because I heard the gunshots? But then, she's telling me, get up, let's go, let's go. And I'm not responding. I'm
Right.
out of it. And so, she literally grabs my face, like to catch my attention and, turns my head over to her. And that's when she just sees like this huge, just fountain of blood just dripping down my face. Just, just red, just red. And that's like, in her head, it's just like, holy shit, my husband is dead.
Yeah.
Next thing just, snaps in her head. Where are the girls?
Yeah. She's a parent.
Yeah. And she, last remembers they were in one of the bedrooms, bunch of kids just playing. So she runs there. Maybe she met with the gunman, they cross paths as she's, running to the bedroom because, it's going towards the same area. Yeah. But she just had that tunnel vision, just, get there.
Yeah.
She finds the kids are panicking. I have my 2 daughters are in that bedroom. Other kids as well. They're asking, like, what's going on? Where's dad? Where's daddy? Like, I don't know. I think he was outside, I think he was outside. I don't know, but just there's something going on. Threw the kids in the closet, threw clothes on top of them, just unwrapped clothes and threw it on top and just told them, hey, don't make a noise. Whatever you hear, I don't care. Do not come out of here. Do not make a noise. Closes the closet. 7 months pregnant, she sees this giant dresser. She doesn't know how she did it, but she dragged that damn thing in front of the door to barricade it.
Yeah.
So she barricaded the door and just waited there. Knowing, in her mind, my husband's dead. Is this gunman going to come find me? Is this gunman going to find these kids?
In the meanwhile, you're in the kitchen bleeding
just
out.
Just bleeding out on the floor.
Yeah.
So, as I'm bleeding out, you have this crowd of people trying to funnel through the front door,
Yeah.
So what does he do? The gunman, he just starts shooting towards the door. You have funnel of people trying to get through, just shoot there. You're going to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
He caught people in the back and the shoulder.
Because this wasn't a vendetta. This wasn't anything against, I'm going to go after this person specifically. This was just a crazy man, mental illness, with a firearm who wanted to take people's lives.
Correct. And, he accomplished that. Took, people's lives. He kept shooting towards that door and caught another one in the leg. Couldn't make his way out the door,
Yeah.
So he's trying to crawl out that door. And he just goes up to him, walks right in front of him, and just point blank shoots him at the top of the head.
I'm struggling to find words right now I have a ton of questions, but I also have respect, and I'm like concerned to cross the line with you. I literally have you in my phone as Raul Mendez hero, and I've known you for years. Shortly after this happened,
Yeah.
and I've always had a massive amount of admiration for you because of the rest of the story. So he's at the door, You're still bleeding out. Your wife is behind the door, behind the dresser, protecting the kids as best as she can, 7 months pregnant, and the hallway's jammed with people while he's firing indiscriminately in there. And all he wants is blood.
All he wants is blood.
So what then happens?
Well, these houses are like, those cookie cutter homes. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he probably has a similar or the same, model home. So he
Right.
knows his way around the house.
Right.
So he makes his way, okay, this is a master bedroom. Door's locked. I'm sure there's people in there.
Yeah.
So the homeowner's wife the host that invited me, his wife was on the other side of that door.
Hmm.
He starts firing towards the door, trying to shoot the doorknob and break it through.
Yeah.
And he catches her with 4+ bullets, in the arm and the leg, and just, nothing vital. But he
Right.
catches her, breaks down the door, and you have 2 other girls hiding in the master closet with 2 little boys. So you have them hiding there, panicking, of course, and everybody's mind, like, we don't know what the heck is going on, why,
Yeah.
but these survival instincts just kick in, that will to live, and either you run, you hide, or you fight.
Right.
So she decides to, I don't want to fucking die. So she wrestles him. She, reaches out, arms bleeding, everything, and grabs his hand where he's holding that pistol. And of course, he's trying to kill her. But she gets him to empty out his magazine. So they're kind of shooting everywhere. And, at that point, every round misses. So once he's empty, he drops the pistol and just fights her bare hand. Gets behind her, just starts choking her out, tries to finish her off,
Yeah.
by choking her.
Yeah.
At that point, she's yelling, and she's yelling my name because she knew I religiously carried a concealed firearm.